adults in Germany consume approximately 60 kilograms of meat per year.
Welcome to another episode of UBT Green Talks. Today we're exploring a topic that's shaping the future of both human health and the planet: the Planetary Health Diet. What we eat doesn't just affect our bodies, it has a huge impact on the environment. But what does a diet that's both healthy and sustainable actually look like? To answer that, we're joined by Dr. Carmen Jochem, who will walk us through the principles behind the Planetary Health Diet. Dr. Carmen is a medical doctor with a master's in global health policy. Her work focuses on integrating factors such as nutrition and exercise in context of global public and planetary health. Additionally, she investigates planetary health literacy and its relevance to education. So let's start directly with the first question. What is the Planetary Health Diet?
The Planetary Health Diet is very important, first of all, and it provides a framework for a universal reference diet that can be flexibly applied. And it was published by a large group of worldwide leading scientists in the group of EAT-Lancet Commission on Health, Food and Planet. And it provides recommendations for a healthy and sustainable diet that can be applied in flexible ways, according to local and regional needs. And it's quite important in current times because we are facing global challenges. And the Planetary Health Diet provides a suggestion, a solution for how we can feed about a future population of 10 billion people with a healthy diet and within planetary boundaries.
How does this diet in specific address the global challenges that you mentioned, for example, climate change or biodiversity loss?
Yes, as you mentioned, humankind is facing global challenges such as climate change, pollution, biodiversity loss, and the food system in general is strongly contributing to worsening these challenges. And the Planetary Health Diet, by suggesting a sustainable food system and a sustainable diet, aims at decreasing environmental impact on our ecosystems, has specific targets, for example, such as a shift towards a more plant-based diet will reduce greenhouse gas emissions due to beef production, dairy production. And currently, as we know, food production contributes to up to 30% of global greenhouse gas emissions and up to 70% of freshwater use. In addition, land conversion for food production is the single most important driver for loss of biodiversity. So addressing these issues through a sustainable diet and form of diet will help to improve environmental impacts through reduced greenhouse gas emissions, less water use, sustainable crops and diversification, less pollution and so on.
So now we've just learned how the Planetary Health Diet tackles global challenges like climate change and biodiversity loss. But beyond protecting the planet, what about our own well-being?
Yes, that's the good thing of the Planetary Health Diet. It's not only good for the planet's health, but also for human health. And from a public health perspective, it may help to prevent lots of chronic diseases, such as cardiovascular diseases, for example, stroke or heart attack, or prevents to develop cancer, several types of cancer, such as colorectal cancer or breast cancer. And it also helps to prevent diabetes mellitus type 2. And adhering to the Planetary Health Diet is also adhering to a nutrient-rich, low-calorie diet that helps for weight management and thereby prevents overweight and obesity. And in our own research, we have shown that a higher adherence to sustainable diets compared to lower adherence may decrease the risk of developing overweight by approximately 30%, which is quite a lot. And in addition, the Planetary Health Diet may help to improve mental health and well-being, digestive health, immunofunction, healthy aging. So from a global health perspective, it could be approximately 11 million deaths per year prevented by adherence to a Planetary Health Diet.
So by making mindful food choices, we're not just helping the earth, we're investing in our own long-term health. What are the main or core principles of Planetary Health Diet and how can we maybe apply them in our daily life?
The main core principles are the healthy and sustainable aspects of the diet recommendations. And to just put it in the picture of a plate, you can divide it into two halves, and one half should consist of vegetables and fruits, and the other half of whole grain products, plant-based proteins, and unsaturated plant oils. So you can see that there's not many animal products on it, which are allowed, but in a small amount. And overall, the recommendation is to consume lots of vegetables, fruits, legumes and nuts, and very little of added sugars and dairy and animal products.
So now, after we've heard from Dr. Carmen Jochem the guidelines on what constitutes a healthy and a sustainable planetary diet, let's take it from theory to practice. I'm here today at Edeka in Kulmbach, together with Kilian and Nourishing, to explore how students understand health and sustainability when it comes to food choices. So here comes the fun part. Kilian and Nourishing, your task is to go shopping. You each need to pick at least 5 ingredients to put together a healthy and a sustainable dinner and a dessert. Remember, think about health, but also the environment. Let's see what you will come up with. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Your timer starts now.
I'm not too familiar with the supermarket, so I'll have to walk around a bit. I'll start basically in the beginning of the supermarket, in the fruits and vegetable aisle.
We need onions for the main dish and carrots.
Right. I think I'm gonna cook something with rice, like a fried rice dish.
Then I will need some pasta, maybe spaghetti. Sounds good.
Ah, I found rice. Right, I'm gonna choose some basmati rice. This will do.
Take this one. They are bio. I think should be good.
This is the only soy sauce I could find, so I guess I'll choose this one.
Just gonna take 4 tomatoes. Should be enough.
I'll choose some Greek yogurt here.
I think this one should work.
Just a pack of hazelnuts.
Now I'm looking for flour, yeah. We'll take Vollkorn.
The smoked tofu, because simply it tastes the best. And that's it. I have found everything I need for my dinner. And I'm going to look for Mirna.
Let's put this back and we're done.
Kilian, great timing. Well done. I'm really curious to know what's your meal for tonight and why did you make those choices?
So I have 2 meals in here, one dinner and one snack or dessert afterwards. My first, the dinner is going to be a rice dish. So I chose rice because, well, I need to find something that's satisfying for me for dinner. So there I usually look for, I don't know, some rice, some pasta, some potatoes, something more filling. And then I choose smoked tofu and eggs in this case. The great thing about this dish is that you can basically pick any vegetables you want. So, I mean, spring onions and garlic, they always fit, and then I just chose what I saw. And I mean, I often choose carrots, bell peppers for this dish, and this time also zucchini. I chose this yogurt because Greek yogurt, it's creamy, it tastes nice, and this is a good portion for me. I couldn't find any mix that is also on a lower price end, so I chose these hazelnuts. Then the tangerine I chose because now the time for tangerine is arriving.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kilian. So these are the factors that Kilian takes into consideration when going for grocery shopping: taste, price, and availability. Nourishing, perfect timing. And we could see clearly the main ingredients for your dinner and cake. For the vegetables, do you have a specific reason why you chose those items?
Yeah, I would say price. I took the cheapest ones, from the onions to the tomatoes and carrots.
Okay.
And I just needed 2 carrots, so that was the only ones there that I could pick 2, and the other wasn't. They were in packages. So I took 2 because I didn't need more.
So why did you choose to make cake for tonight's dessert, the healthy and sustainable dessert?
First reason, I always loved cake, and it's fall, so I like carrot cake with walnuts. It fits with the weather.
How do you see yourself making the choices tonight that fit the task of putting together a healthy and sustainable meal?
Yeah, good question. I think I didn't follow the sustainable and healthy recipes, and I did follow what I usually do, to be honest. I take the stuff that I like, and it's not that expensive.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Nourishing. So in comparison to Kilian, Nourishing takes into consideration price, quality, and what she likes. That was a really interesting challenge. Kilian and Nourishing both had different approaches to picking their ingredients, balancing health, sustainability, and personal preferences. And as we've seen, making food choices that align with Planetary Health Diet isn't always straightforward. Factors such as cultural habits, availability, and even budget constraints can make it difficult to follow the guidelines perfectly. So how do we navigate these challenges and make the diet more adaptable to real-life situations? Now, let's hear the insights from our expert, Dr. Jochem. So, Dr. Carmen, shall we start with Nourishing choices?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's have a look.
I think I'm gonna cook pasta bolognese for tonight.
Oh, I'm quite interested in what kind of pasta bolognese she will prepare, because pasta bolognese is a popular dish in many countries, and there are quite a different ways to prepare it, with meat, without meat, with lentils and other ingredients. So I'm really interested in what she will choose.
Let's see.
Then I will need some pasta, maybe spaghetti.
I really appreciate that she took a biological spaghetti version or brand, but I would like to highlight the importance of whole grain products with regard to pasta. And I know that it is quite challenging, because you can see the offer of many different pastas here, but only little of them are whole grain products. They might be hidden and not the first view you catch it, so it's quite difficult to find them, and they are not very popular. So that's a big challenge that should change.
Take this one. They are bio. I think should be good.
Yes, with eggs it's quite similar as with pasta. It's difficult to choose, and she had to look up and down and which are the right ones. It's not easy for consumers to make decisions on which eggs are the best one for the chicken, for the environment, for health. And she argued that she chose the bio eggs, which is a good choice, but it is difficult to select within the variety of eggs offered.
I think I'm gonna take the Vollrohr. I like it more.
Here she even comments her decision on the sugar, that she follows personal preferences. She likes it more.
Yeah.
I don't know in terms of how it is tasting, or the grains of the sugar are, maybe, I don't know, because in terms of health there are no differences if the one is more beneficial than the other, and so on. But as far as I can see, she's choosing within the biological products of sugar.
Yeah.
And with sugar, it's like with meat and other unhealthy ingredients, to have a limited amount of sugar intake.
Take 2 carrots for the main dish, for the bolognese, and the carrot cake.
Here it is quite interesting to see that she's looking for portion sizes. She wanted to choose the green, the carrots with green, and she denied because there are too many. She did not look at the packaged carrots, but she selected 2 single carrots, which are enough for her dish and the dessert to prepare. And it's often the problem that people buy large packages, large portion sizes, and at the end it ends up with food wastage. Yes.
Yeah. This one, it's like a hamburger, but I can change it into normal meat and then cook it. Yeah, it's not what I actually wanted, but no choice.
Okay, so first of all, obviously, Nushin went for meat-based beef for her pasta bolognese, which is okay because Planetary Health Diet allows for small amounts of meat and animal products. But I mean, it's just a small scene and selection of what she's cooking, so I cannot judge on how often a person consumes meat. But in general, we know that meat consumption is much too high. But what she's highlighting and what she's confronted with is she has no choice between the meat product she wanted to look for. There's only this one, which is not perfectly matching, and it's not biological meat, so probably the choice is not the best, but reflects availability problems.
Yeah. I also can cook it with soya, but to be honest, I like it more with meat, so we take this one.
Yes, that was an interesting explanation. She's honest to say she likes it, she likes the taste of meat, which is, yes, due to own cooking habits and cultural aspects. We are used to some tastes and how we cook it, but I mean, that's what is the good thing of the Planetary Health Diet, to have both options and to have the meat in small amounts available.
So now Kilian's turn. Let's see what Kilian picked for dinner and dessert.
Yes.
Just a pack of hazelnuts.
And here again, hazelnuts are on season. They are freely available in their natural form, not pre-packaged, which would be an alternative, what most people don't look for. So it's a natural behavior to go to this packaged sort of nuts.
Yeah.
I'll choose some Greek yogurt here.
Here it is interesting to see what criteria he is following for his selection. First of all, he's looking at if there is something on sale, and then he goes for his personal taste preference.
So these are the factors that Kilian takes into consideration when going for grocery shopping: taste, price, and availability.
Yes, and these criteria are very common and reflect consumer behaviors when they select food items in a typical food environment. And they also highlight the need of, yes, how food environments are created. So where are the healthy and sustainable options? Are they more easily accessible, for example, or is it difficult to find them? And another aspect that is reflected by the price criterion is, yes, political policy subsidies, if they exist or not, and which products are supported financially. Are these the healthy and sustainable products or not? And here it's quite difficult for consumers, for individuals to make informed decisions on how to select healthy and sustainable products.
It is clear that personal food choices are shaped by more than just nutrition guidelines. There are practical, cultural, and economic considerations at play. And while the Planetary Health Diet sets a global framework, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So how can we adapt it to different regions and lifestyles while still keeping sustainability and health in focus? Let's return to Dr. Jochem to explore how this diet can be tailored to different cultures and food systems.
The Planetary Health Diet allows, for example, for emphasizing local staples, such as the use of rice in different countries and the use of grains, whole grains in other countries.
So now let's take a more specific example. For instance, here in Germany, what are the current eating behavior in comparison to the new recommendations?
Yes, that's quite interesting because the recommendations from the German Nutrition Society have been updated in 2024. And they now include not only the health aspect, but also the sustainability aspect. And they also take into consideration dietary habits of Germans. And these habits are contrasting very much to recommendations, especially regarding the intake of fruits and vegetables, which is too low compared to recommendation levels, and especially relating to the intake of red and processed meat, which is much too high compared to current recommendations. For example, adults in Germany consume approximately 60 kilograms of meat per year, which is almost a little bit more than 1 kilogram per week. And current recommendations are between 300 to 600 grams, which is still higher than the Planetary Health Diet recommendation for meat intake.
Knowing that sometimes the actual eating habit does not align with the guidelines and recommendations, so what are the challenges that not only individuals but also communities face when wanting to adopt a healthier and a more sustainable diet?
There are a couple of challenges an individual faces, but also communities face, and at the macro level also in policy settings, structures that do enable or prevent people from choosing the healthy and sustainable option, which is not always available. So challenges can be financial ones, from higher prices of organic foods, for example, but also availability issues. I mean, regional vegetables and fruits may differ during the season, and not always everything is available as you like and as you prefer, in line with your personal culture and customs and habits, cooking habits, for example, and tastes.
Yeah.
We are used to what we eat. Since we were born, we are used to special foods. It's very much a traditional habit, and other culture-specific challenges that have to be overcome. And on the other hand, often it's a knowledge and educational challenge. Lack of knowledge combined with kind of misinformation in the media and advertisements of big food companies, for example. In addition, it's quite difficult to overcome institutional barriers, for example, in the university setting, but also in schools or in the workplaces and companies. It's not always healthy and sustainable food that is offered in cafeterias, in the mensa, and that's quite difficult to overcome.
Yeah. So, Dr. Carmen, as like take-home messages, are there simple steps that people can take today to align their eating habits with this planetary health sustainable diet?
Yes, I think there are some. And first of all, I would recommend to be aware of the importance of a healthy and sustainable diet, and then to be curious about what could be a sustainable diet that is delicious. I mean, there are ways to find delicious recipes. Just have a look at what could you imagine to cook and to prepare for yourself, for your friends, for your family, which is another aspect to get back to cooking, to spend time with your friends and family by preparing meals together, by eating together, by sharing social time together in line and together with healthy and sustainable food. And I always recommend to try to cook the rainbow. I mean, to choose and pick out of a variety, a diversity of vegetables and fruits and legumes that have positive contributions to your own health, that give you all the nutrients you need, and on the other hand, yes, have a positive environmental impact. And as a final statement from my side, I would like to say that it's not only the individual responsibility, but each of us can make a step towards a more healthy and sustainable diet, which is good for each of us, for the individual. But we also need some support with regard to health promoting and environmental food environments. And that's where I would like to highlight the flagship report of the German Advisory Council on Global Change, which is called Healthy Living on a Healthy Planet, and one chapter is dedicated on recommendations for action and research for the German government on implementing and how to implement policies and structures for healthy and sustainable food environments.
Here we come to the end of this episode. Today, we've uncovered how what we eat is deeply connected to both planetary and personal health. We've seen how small conscious food choices, like incorporating more plant-based meals and choosing sustainably sourced ingredients, can make a huge impact. But change doesn't have to be overwhelming. Whether it's swapping out one meat-based meal a week, reducing food waste, or supporting local and seasonal produce, every action counts. So what's one small step you can take today towards a more sustainable and healthier future? Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay green.